As you can tell now, I'm standing here with no camera because I got a video person that's holding the camera. That's my wife Colleen, and she gives me the little finger thing that's telling me it's time to go. So this one we're talking about being a couch potato or a recliner potato. You sit there and you draw out your diagrams, what you're going to do. That way you'll do it 3 or 4 times, and time you're at the end one, you've got everything you need to know about, and hopefully you haven't forgotten nothing. Right down there where we're going. So if you're looking at that as far as footage wise, so from front to back, we've almost got 18 feet. And then side to side, so if you come over here, haven't taken the lift out yet, so from this side to this side, we're 7 foot, I think 9 inches, might be 8.5. So which is pretty wide. So when you're designing stuff, that's kind of the numbers we'll use. And we're going to put like a garage in the back that will come off this back door. So that'll come in maybe 16 to 20 inches, and then we'll start our bed first, because that's pretty much set in place. That's our mattresses that's going to go on it. But then after you get that, it's you got to kind of lay out your most important things, which we want a back storage garage, so that's important. We want a bed that we're not making every day or every other day or whatever. I guess people say they make their bed every day, or go to their house every day and see how often they do. But anyhow, we want a bed that anytime we want to, we can just crawl into it. We don't have to make it up. We don't need it to sit in. That's what our 2 chairs up here are going to be. So those were kind of important. So they're going to be laid out with a table in between them, so that way we'll have a place to sit. They will have seat belts on them so people could travel with us. And then the same thing on your layout. If you look back at the little thing here, let me flip it over. It shows the stove, and then the furnace and the hot water heater. You can't really see them too easy, but you got to know where all that stuff lays out, to where where you're going to put your propane tank. We're going to have one underneath it, and I'm a licensed gas fitter too, so I can do all my own gas piping. But everything's got to have a line run to it. You can use copper inside. Underneath, I would recommend steel pipe, black pipe, so that there's no way you could puncture it or it could get pinched or anything like that. And then you could come up in the bottom to each one of your things, and then go from steel pipe to copper pipe, because it's more flexible, more forgiving. And planning out everything, because like on this side, if you flip it over, I've kind of already started. So up on the roof, we've got about 16 feet of open space. So I'm going to have, you can see kind of like the 3 solar cells. And so I'm going to try for, so it'd be 915 watts up there. And then on the back of it, you can see back way over here, there's like a spare tire and 2 containers that we're going to have up there, because we're going to try to use all the space we can. And then up above, it's kind of designing how I'm going to have a lift, so the panels can kind of lift up like that at an angle. So you got to start diddling with all that stuff now. So I'll take this, and maybe in the next couple of days, go through it again, flip the pages over, start with a new blank, and write everything down again. Same with this. I'll go through and mark, because I've got another one of these tablets that from a while back that's got everything I thought of that needs to be in it, on it. And if you look Like right here, that's going to be our sliding Dometic freezer, ice box. That's going to be underneath the bed. So that'll have to have a 12-volt circuit on its own. Right behind it, you can't really see it, but there's going to be a fan to circulate the air, so it's not like a hot spot in there. And because we want to keep the compressor cool, so we'll probably be adding air into it, so it'll come from underneath, blowing up, so it'll be a little cooler than just your regular outside air. But you got to sit down and think of all this stuff. There's many of things that go into a quality build. We do watch a lot of YouTube. I've been in construction for almost 40 years. Been a licensed journeyman plumber, electrician, mechanical, boilers license, all that stuff. So I'm well familiar with a lot of stuff. So we'll have a lot of good ideas on our build here. We did a trailer real quick this summer to take down to Jamie's van build down in outside of Parker there. That was a blast, but we did that whole build in about 6 weeks. And you can check some of our earlier videos. I think it was named Adeline or something like that. But we went through it and put like a shower, a kitchen, a 4-burner stove, icebox, and then storage for all my shelves, for all my tools, shelf for all my tools. There you go. But it takes a lot of thinking, and I can show you books inside that's got 20 different diagrams of how I drew it up. And the same thing, that's like an architect draws something up, and then you go to install it, and you're like, wow, where was this guy's head at? This ain't gonna work. He says there's 20 inches, there ain't 15 inches. So then, like I say, once you do the build, you've got an idea of where everything goes. But then the bottom line is, how much room do you got at the very last? You know, you say, okay, I need 3 foot for this. And so you take that 3 foot from this, well, that 3 foot out of that 18 foot starts getting smaller. And time you get down to the end, it's like, wow, we're going to only have to have a 24-inch table, not a 30-inch table. So until everything's done, everything is in pencil. It's not in pen. So until you get the final, everything's adjustable. And at the end, if you don't have room for something, then you got to decide, well, what's the most important? What do we want out of this thing, you know? We want a bed to crawl in. We want a table to sit at. So we're wanting a lot, and we do want a shower. And there's lots of room underneath this whole thing. So if you look, say, from the driver seat up here all the way back, it's quite a ways. And we did look at several different things. We looked at the Sprinter van, and we wanted one of those because of the room, and then we decided against that. Because of things. You can watch different things and find out your own reason why not to get a Sprinter van. But if you want something worked on, you want somebody there to work on it. Your Fords and Chevys and Dodges, they're more universal. Everybody got parts. Everybody says, yeah, pull on in, we'll fix it for you. Your Mercedes, not quite that way. They might tell you to go somewhere else to fix it because we don't work on them. Even though we sell them, we don't work on them. But that's my own personal opinion. I could be lying about it, so don't believe me. Because that way if somebody comes to sue me, I'll just say, no, I was lying about that. But you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Have a good time doing it. And just remember that it's all about enjoyment. If you enjoy working, you'll enjoy doing it. There's certain days that, you know, you'll look at, wow, what did I get done today? And that's all part of a build. Some days you get a lot done and can actually see a lot of visual stuff. A lot of times when you're doing wiring or behind the wall stuff, and you come in and think, wow, nothing's changed. I didn't do nothing today, but in reality you did. So don't get discouraged if something takes you time, and that's something I've learned from my wife, because I used to bid, I mean, $50,000 jobs and $10,000 jobs, $2,000 jobs, but the wife always told me that just remember, it takes twice as long as you figure to do the work, and it's twice as expensive as what you figured to do it. That's kind of hard in bidding, because you won't stay in business too long if you bid too many things under. But it's all part of it. You know, you don't have to go upper end on everything. There are a lot of places that you can go. You know, up here in Washington, Habitat for Humanity. There's like a Brown Building Supply that's got a lot of old stuff. And sometimes you got to be careful on that, because certain places want as much for old stuff as you could go out and get new stuff. But all this in here will be custom built. We won't be buying any cabinets or anything like that. We've kind of been looking at flooring and the ceiling stuff. We will do a wood ceiling. Haven't quite figured out which kind yet, but we'll let you know later on. But it's all for fun. So sit down and do some studying. You know, take your notebook, have lots of notes, because a lot of times with your notes, you've done jogged it down on 4 different pages. So time you're to that 5th page, you've really thought about it a lot. It's just not a spur of a minute type thing where you jump into it, then you think, oh man, I should have did this, or I should have did that, or something like that lines, or should have ran a bigger wire or more wires, or just anything. So if you sit down and draw it out and visualize it, you know, 3 or 4 different times, and now it's in your mind. It's not that you did it yet, because it's easier to erase or draw a new picture on paper versus try to tear down a cabinet or something. Oh, I forgot that wire, but I got to get it from the front to the back. Well, in this case, that's 18 foot, and that's a long way. So time we get these upper cabinets, there won't be no way back. I guess you could go underneath, but then it's exposed to the weather. And we're always in this thing, try to use what you got. So we'll try to do a lot of that. And there is power. So there's power on that lift back there. Say a little 15 amp fuse power. Then it's actually got a big number 4 wire that actually works the hydraulics in that lift. So if there's a possibility of using that, you know, that'll work out there too. Well, this video is getting awful long. Rocky just snoozing down there. Rocky. Yeah, oh no, don't go nowhere yet. But I haven't did any videos in a couple of days. And the wife says I need to get a video out.
We appreciate you watching. Please like,
subscribe,
and comment
on anything you want, whether it's new information, old information, how we're doing it, or how we're not doing it. Let us know. It's all about having fun and enjoyment. Enjoy your life. And time's getting short. We'll let it go for now. We'll catch you on the next one.
See you later.